Hey, I've had an idea, mate. Why don't we find Australia's most fertile land and we'll put an enormous solar factory right in the middle of it?
Nah, that'll never get approved by our government, who've only got our bloody best interests at heart.
I don't know, mate. I reckon it fits perfectly with their ideology and their virtual signalling. I reckon it'll be right.
We had literally an eye-opening start to 2026 though, didn't we?
Didn't we, mate? Wasn't it ever?
So I think there are an enormous number of knock-on effects that, have just been brushed aside by Venn and not considered by the minister in coming to this conclusion. And we're shattered.
Yeah.
Absolutely shattered by it.
Yeah. Al and I were privileged enough to be able to visit Claire's farm in Colbinabbin. Brilliant property.
Oh, man. Views to die for.
Absolutely. The family are so proud to own it. Yeah, they've been working that land since the 1850s, mate.
Lovely lady.
Absolutely incredible.
Well, my husband's family's been farming here since the 1850s or 1890s at this particular place. And so my husband's a fourth generation, third generation, then our son and now our grandchildren are working on the farm as well. So we're cropping and sheep and cattle and also Shiraz, grow a bit of Shiraz as well.
You have to in this area.
Yes, you have to. In the hectare wine region.
You're growing a little bit of Shiraz too, we saw.
Yep. I'm relatively new. I bought next door 27 years ago, which almost makes me a local, but
yes.
I'm not quite sure.
Probably another 20 years.
Yeah, and I bought this land because it was renowned for the deep Cambrian soil and it was perfect for growing grapes of super premium quality, and that's been proved to be correct.
Yeah.
It's the best Shiraz grown, equally as good as anywhere else in Australia, if not the world.
Now they're facing a huge change to their surrounding environment, their incredible vista, and their economic future.
Can I just go on about the vista? It is superb. I don't think I've seen a view like it.
No.
It is superb.
Imagine what it's like when it's green. So Claire, along with her neighbour John, sat down with us to explain just what has transpired through the application and approval process of not a 7,000, not 70,000, but a 700,000 panel solar plant.
700,000.
That'll be in the near future bordering their properties. 700,000 panels.
That's ridiculous, man, isn't it? Ridiculous.
On a 1,250 hectare property where the panels will cover almost 700 hectares.
Yeah. That's going to kind of ruin the view a bit.
Well, and the environment.
Yeah.
Potentially. What we saw was complete incompetence at best and at worst a down and out scam, mate.
Oh, completely.
It's got scam written all over it, but we'll get to that. So from the internationally owned Venn Energy's half-baked application to the government's fast-tracked approval system that questioned nothing and rubber-stamped everything, this is a story all Australians need to hear because this isn't just happening in Colbinabbin. There are 3 other locations that Venn Energy have worked on where exactly the same thing has occurred in New South Wales and Victoria, and soon coming to you in Queensland.
Venn Energy promotes themselves as large solar farms and battery storage facilities to help transition to cleaner energy, leveraging global expertise to local projects in Australia and other key markets. They describe themselves as robust international financial institutes to tackle climate change. One of their goals is to deliver economic benefits to local communities. Blah, 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 blah.
Not something we've seen too much evidence of so far. So they position themselves as an Australian energy company focused on clean energy projects. They're far from Australian, aren't they, mate? 50% owned by their Canadian parent company by the same name and 50% owned by Aera, a Swedish clean energy tech company that was kickstarted by Vargas. We won't go into what Vargas is today, but we've got something coming up especially for Vargas. But they're an investment firm that builds climate tech giants and has a global goal to see all houses powered by clean, renewable energy. Gives you an idea where they're coming from. Mate, just a cursory glance at the Venn Energy website will tell you that this is not a company capable of vetting its own information, let alone preparing a professional application for a solar factory. Their website is riddled with spelling mistakes. Their team profiles mostly have links that don't exist. Their front page features a Learn More button to nowhere. And what staff do have links there, take them to people in random places like Barcelona. That's really strange. It looks and feels like a hollow shell, their website. The sort of website you'd expect scammers to set up. And the biggest scam of all, mate, they don't build solar factories.
No.
They don't build solar facilities or wind towers.
They just facilitate it for other people to build it.
They do the development.
Supposedly.
Evidently, yeah. They prepare shoddy applications, they get the government to sign them off, and then sell the approved projects to the highest bidder, most likely to be another overseas conglomerate.
So either the government have been lapsed in their ability to actually see through the scam,
Tick.
or or they know it. They know it's happening.
Tick. Mate, our governments know better. In the name of ideological virtue signalling that sees them desperate to be first to the top of the net zero ladder, the lack of due diligence, the disregard for proper reporting, and the blind eye and deaf ears shown to the community is worse than showing a lack of governance. It shows this government is no longer governing at all, mate.
Oh.
It is a disgrace.
They are disgraceful, mate.
It is an absolute disgrace. In a few weeks' time, a full-length documentary that incorporates a full interview plus much more will be released, showing just how superficial this process has been from start to finish. But in the meantime, we're really keen to get the word out there and just show some key moments from the interview that we recently did with Claire and John so that we can start to shine a light on just how crazy the push for net zero has become. So let's talk about some of the points from the interview, mate.
Yep.
What a place to own.
Oh, like as I say, the view, everything about it is just fantastic. I couldn't stop looking out the window. It is brilliant.
You stand there on the deck and you look at it and you think, oh my God, I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yep.
And then your eye catches the transmission lines.
Yep.
And now you know exactly
why they want to put it there.
Exactly right. It's really hard to put into words what the scale of the solar project is. I mean, how much of the land it will actually take up. I worked out it's the equivalent of 160 Melbourne cricket grounds, including the stands and the concourse.
My God. That
right?
is
We're not talking just the playing field.
That is, how many?
160.
Far out. That is ridiculous.
Covered in solar panels.
That is
it's
ridiculous.
Absolutely absurd.
How they found out about their proposed solar plant after flooding during harvest is a disgrace.
So when did you first become aware of the Cuba solar plant project?
We got a letter in November 2022, which was only just a few weeks after we were all devastated by the 2022 floods. Township was flooded. All our paddocks were flooded. And it was also, the start of our cropping, harvesting.
Busy month.
So it seems like it was pretty deliberate.
Yeah. I mean, you picked the worst possible time to throw news like this at the neighbours of this land.
When they're busy trying to get all their stuff done.
They've just been devastated by floods.
Yep.
They're about to move into harvest season and they get a letter saying...
Almost like it was planned around that time.
I got no doubt it was. Absolutely no doubt. That's at worst. At best, these guys are just so incompetent they didn't realise that there was harvesting season. They probably
Well, I could see that as well.
Yeah.
The report states the land is of no strategic importance. Really?
It's only the most highly graded, fertile land in Australia.
Can we start with Venn's statement that the agricultural qualities of the land in the area are of no strategic importance? How did that make you feel when you hear that? When you know it's not a fact?
Well, it's just a down and out lie, because anyone that knows Colbinabbin, anyone knows this area, knows that, what we produce in this area is staggering with cropping and with the wine. And we are smack bang in the middle of the Heathcote wine region. So that is strategic land in itself, let alone what we produce in Colbinabbin and its surrounding area. And there's also a company here that is also the largest exporter of sun-dried tomatoes in the Southern Hemisphere.
Of no strategic importance.
Yeah.
And Claire went into what is farmed on that land. It's not just wine, it's grains, it's wheat, it's sun-dried tomatoes, the biggest exporter in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yep.
It's cattle, it's sheep.
Yep.
And they're saying it's of no strategic importance.
I mean, come on. Really?
Doesn't make any sense.
So soil testing. So how did that all point to the fact that it's prime agricultural land?
Well, they took the soil test from a report done in the 1960s.
What?
They did. Can you believe it?
The most important thing when you're having a debate on anything is it's fact-based. Now, Venn's consultants, experts, used ancient geographical surveys to reach this conclusion. The council, when they appointed their own independent soil expert, they went on site and they did detailed soil tests. And the council's independent consultant said this is state significant soils. So who do you believe? Do you believe the person that's done the soil tests or the person that relied on 1960s geographic survey information? You know, one is fact, the other one is so high level, it's almost irrelevant.
Wow.
They never went to the farm to do soil testing.
That is, oh my God.
It just goes to show you how inept these people are, mate. We'll let John make a good point in a moment. The heat island effect.
Oh.
The report the government got was from a 1 megawatt solar factory. This is going to be 500. So their report, again, is irrelevant.
And he's got vines all along the road, across the road from the solar panels.
His closest vine, how far is his closest vine?
32 metres.
32 metres from the nearest
and
solar
that's
panel.
not going to affect the grapevines at all.
No, won't affect it at all.
It's prime agricultural land, but my major concern as a grape grower is the heat island effect. In that, you know, and we went to great extents to do research on the scientific papers that had been produced worldwide, and the problem is that the government relied on information about small solar farms and the heat island effect. These are only 1 megawatt. That was most of their scientific evidence was on 1 megawatt. But all of the scientific reports say there is a compounding effect with the larger solar farm. This is 500 megawatts. Yeah. And so they do say that all solar farms emit heat, but it dissipates within 30 metres of the boundary. Yeah. But that's on a 1 megawatt.
Yeah.
You put 500 times that.
And 700,000 panels.
And the nearest panel is 30 metres from my closest vine.
The government's own solar planning guidelines should have prevented the project from going ahead, yet it didn't. It's just another blind eye, mate. They've just...
Yes. So wrong.
Absolute disgrace.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the government's got your back. Not.
Yeah, couldn't care less.
The state government's own solar planning guidelines should have prevented this project from going ahead. Why didn't they? Why did they ignore their own regulations?
That's a really good question, because those guidelines are there for a reason. So any developer with any morals would have said, okay, we'll go to the local council and can you tell us where in your LGA that would be ideal to put solar that's not going to affect any prime agricultural land. But they didn't do that. They just went knocking on doors all along the transmission line and took no notice of what productive land that's hit. And they finally got someone.
I think I would just want to re-emphasise what Claire just said, because this is the nub of the problem. The developer, the foreign developer, all they did is they followed the transmission line. They searched who owned what land. They found a 2,500 acre parcel owned by one farmer who was ageing, and they made him an offer. If it wasn't under the transmission line, it wouldn't be here. So this is a low cost operation for the developer, and honestly, they could not care less about the impact on the community because it's a great deal for them.
Yeah. Flood and fire risk. I mean, 3 floods took place during the application period. No flood assessment was undertaken during the floods. It was all done outside of the flood periods. And they didn't put a fire risk management plan in with the application, just chose to ignore it, and it's still got approved.
The bushfire risk management report that they decided not to do originally, and then it must have got some pressure somewhere to do one. What was the story?
Yeah, I wrote to DECA because the bushfire report and the cultural heritage report were both supposed to be within their submissions to the government, and they weren't there. And so I wrote to DECA and said, what's going on? And they said, well, they chose not to put the fire risk report in and didn't say that, why. And I actually asked the fire risk management when we had a webinar with them, why wasn't it submitted? And he actually said, I don't know why it wasn't submitted. And it's completely surrounded, as you can see, thousands and thousands of acres of stubble. And we're 4 kilometres from the state forests. We're 4 kilometres from the town. If a fire got hold of it, and they're all catching on fire, it wouldn't take very long for that to reach our township or to reach the state forest. And that is a major worry. And we know that when they're damaged and the contaminants get into the soils, all this area floods. And then all that contaminant will go into our waterways, will go into our wetlands, will go into our lakes and ruin all the surrounding areas. The fire is really worrying for me and for our volunteer firefighters. I would hate to think, what they would be subject to.
So just to add on to what Claire was saying, this area is in a designated high fire risk area according to the Campaspe Council. Not making it up. They've designated that high fire risk.
So this site for the last 3 years has been flood.
There's been 3 floods, and the flood study consultant didn't use any actual data. It was all on modelling. Had 3 chances to use actual modelling, and they didn't.
That is terrible. But, I mean, but I'd imagine that if it goes on fire, like the fireys, CFA, they'll need proper, suit. They'll be properly suited up to go in there. Because, I mean, the fumes coming off these things would be, insane, I gather.
Especially if the 100 shipping container-sized batteries catch fire.
Because in their original high-level report, they said they would rely on the local utilities to manage the fire risk, meaning the CFA. And we know all the guys that are on the truck, and they say we're not going there. We haven't got the right equipment. We haven't got the right training. We're not going anywhere near it. It catches on fire, it's going to burn.
Oh dear!
No equipment, no training, no trucks equipped to be able to fight these fires. And the CFA are going to get sent in,
and they're going to say,
"Nah,
not us."
Why would you?
No, you wouldn't go in, mate, and risk your life even more.
No, why would you? Exactly right. To me, mate, it points to a complete lack of governance.
Yeah, of course.
It's no governance at all. And I think any party who's been in power for 12 years forgets what's most important.
It's like, they get lazy, don't they?
They do.
They think, this is just same old, same old.
They think they can do anything.
Yep, just tick it.
Ticket, yep.
Let
Forget about the constituents.
What is it? Oh, climate, yep. There you go.
Yeah.
It's so inept, mate.
It is. It's a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. Yep. And the sad part is, even though this community has put together an enormous amount of their own information,
they've done all the hard work
at their own expense.
Yep.
Yeah, soil testing, all sorts of reports
that they've independently done themselves and got over the line, and
the government has ignored.
They don't even want to look at it.
The letter that was sent to Sonia Kilkenny, who should feel ashamed. So the letter that was sent with pages and pages of data and information of how the application was incorrect, got a cursory pro forma reply and nothing since.
Yep.
And it's been over 6 months. Sonia, what are you doing? You should be stopping this from going ahead. You should be moving this to a location that doesn't affect that community like it is.
She should be ashamed of herself, mate.
It's little things. The devil's in the detail, right? Where the application says that the solar farm is 20 kilometres from the national park and 20 kilometres from the town. But it's only 4 kilometres from each.
Well, we drove to Colbinabbin and it's
3 minutes.
Lovely little place as well.
Good pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fire can cover 4 kilometres pretty quickly.
I know. And it's all brush. When in the middle of summer, it's like, it's
Exactly
wanting to go up.
And if I'm Claire and John, the whole time we were there, because they're so high up, they're 230, 240 metres above the solar factory, the wind was blowing in our face the whole time we were there.
Yeah.
If a fire starts,
It's blowing up that hill.
it's coming straight up that hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. But none of that's been taken into account.
Nothing.
No community effect whatsoever. It's incompetence on an industrial scale. It's
Gigantic scale.
we were aghast, weren't we? We stood there and thought, oh my God, how can you build this land out
It's ridiculous.
with an industrial solar factory?
I know.
It doesn't make any sense. And what they say is right. If they have a fire and the fire leaks chemicals
Into the ground.
and then they have a flood, which they'll have.
Yeah. And that
The
goes,
water has
that,
nowhere
goes into
else
the
to
water,
go.
that goes into the water system. Then what are you going to do? You're going to have to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to clean it.
And that's not just their farms.
Mm.
That's farms in the whole region,
Yeah.
wineries in the whole region.
Yep. Who get their water from the same supply.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
All because the transmission lines are there.
Yep.
It's the only reason.
Yeah, but then the transmission lines only take 65 kilowatts. And
They're not going to be able to take the power anyway.
I said to Vic Grid, are you talking to Sonia Kilkenny? Like, a Vic Grid talking to the government? Have you said to them, stop approving solar factories on this line because there's not the capacities, you know? Don't. And they go, oh, yeah, we are talking to them. And I said, well, it doesn't seem like you are because this wouldn't have been approved.
Yeah. It doesn't make the whole
doesn't
thing.
make any sense. That's why it sounds farcical and like just like a scam.
It does feel like a scam, mate.
Mm.
It really does.
But to what end?
I don't know. To be fair, it's not just Victoria.
No.
What's happening in Boree in New South Wales is exactly the same, mate.
Mm.
It's horrendous. So it's an Australian issue. It's not a Victoria or New South Wales or Queensland issue.
And so that to me is the real dipstick of, are we just being selfish and saying not in my backyard? When the independent council does their own homework, they do all the fact checking and they come out almost unanimously against this. And they put all their arguments to the minister and again, they get donut. So, it's just it's not good governance. And not good governance gives bad outcomes.
The government has lost their minds with a single-minded ideology.
This push for renewables at all costs, at any cost,
And the only
human cost, financial cost.
and the only people it's hurting is the people of Australia.
Exactly right.
Yep.
It's horrendous. So this is just a short little episode on what will come. What will come in about 4 weeks' time is a full, more documentary style that'll run for over an hour. And you have to see it to believe it. You have to hear what has happened to this community to believe what the government has put them through and Venn Energy have put them through. And Venn Energy will come and go. We won't even know in 10 years' time who Venn Energy were. They'll have passed through. They'll have got their approvals. They'll have sold them on to somebody else or not, we hope. And the Australian government will have to clean up the mess.
It's just a load of billionaires making some pocket change.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Let us know what you think, people. Is it a scam or is it just that this government has become so inept that they've forgotten how to govern?
Yeah, sounds like.
Let us know what you think.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.